Now that we've covered Season 1 on this channel, and as Season 5 continues to go full throttle every Saturday, it's time to talk about Season 2 of My Hero Academia. After bouncing back from the violent attack by the League of Villains, UA Academy prepares for its most prestigious event, the School Sports Festival, an opportunity for the aspiring heroes to showcase their abilities both to the public and potential recruiters. And for those familiar with My Hero Academia reviews, this will have spoilers for Season 2. Go check out my review of Season 1 if you haven't done so yet. And let me know what is your favorite moment from Season 2 in the comments below. Start the conversation. And while you're down there, if you haven't done so yet but want to see more My Hero Academia season reviews, click the subscribe button. It does wonders to get my content out there. You'll be supporting the channel and all these anime reviews that I like to do week to week. And if you have seen my Season 1 review, you know how much I adore this show to know, and ever since reading the manga when it first came out and continuing to do so to this day, this anime just doesn't let up. One of my favorite aspects of it is that it has seasons. The fact that it is divided in seasons and has pauses allows the story to breathe, the characters to have more time to shine, and the animation to never let up. The animation in this show is always consistent and always great, and like I mentioned in my Season 1 review, we focused on a certain number of characters there in only 13 episodes, and now we have a full 25 episode season that allows so many characters to shine. And one of the reasons why it does so is because the sports festival is in essence a tournament, and tournaments in anime are always fucking awesome. In essence, there are two stages to the School Sports Festival. There's a team stage where you have a team of 4 people teaming up to take down another team of 4 people, and then you have the individual combat stages. And the team stage is really entertaining. What I love seeing in here is seeing great relationships being formed and developed amongst the students, and it allows us to see their thought process in battle and trying to take down a villain. We get to see how they apply their powers to the real world through rationale, how they calculate and strategize not only for themselves but with one another to win the eventual battle and put in practice what they are learning in their drilling exercises and at the UA Academy in general. And one of my favorite characters, Tokoyami, gets a lot of time to shine, especially in this team stage, and I love his power of Dark Shadow, and I love seeing him being able to shine. And the show really finds a good way to balance and give a lot of people time to shine, people that won't necessarily get their own episodes or their main spotlight stage all for themselves, but it finds a way to let them shine in this and have people notice them and be aware of them and get to know them a little bit. And because the season has 20 episodes, it also allows the characters in the story to breathe. We see how the world sees these characters, how they see one another, how the teachers see them, how the other students see them. And again, these relationships are important and create a great foundation for the whole show. But of course, the single combat stage is the best part of this, and probably my favorite episode in the entire Season 2 is when Izuku goes one-on-one with Shoto Todoroki. It's an amazing fight that looks fantastic, but it also has a lot of emotions to it. In essence, Todoroki has such a troubled past with his mother and father, and his mother being so fragile and basically so mentally tortured by Endeavor. Todoroki has refused for his whole entire life to use half of his quirk. Due to his mother being a nice type person and his father being a fire type person, Todoroki has only decided to use the ice part of his quirk, but his battle with Izuku, who awakens Todoroki's true potential and allows him to liberate the fire inside him, quite literally, and this leads to an amazing battle that not only looks great, but it also has a lot of emotional gravitas to it. Once more, we get to know these characters, we get to know what makes them click, what do they fear, why do they hesitate, and the show cleverly by doing this also focuses on Izuku's real goal, and that is to help people. Through his fight with Todoroki in this show, he's already being a hero by helping Todoroki overcome his trauma and unleash his full potential so he himself can in the future hopefully help save more people. And this battle of course is won by Todoroki, which leads to yet another fantastic brawl between Todoroki and Bakugo. This fight is sensational, but it is more of an all-out anime fight with both guys going at it full throttle, which eventually does lead to Bakugo winning the tournament and one of the funniest visuals in this entire show up until now, which is Bakugo being number one, but being so mad they have to chain him to the podium as they celebrate and give out the awards. But once more, the show has this great balance of giving us a lot of fun and a lot of usual anime tropes that we love to see, and gives us a little bit more of maturity and of darkness, because following this we have the arrival of Stain the Hero Killer, which has connections to one of my favorite characters as well, Tenya Ida. Stain the Hero Killer wants to get society rid of heroes. He believes their very existence is hypocritical, and to my money he is still one of the coolest looking villains and one of the biggest menacing presences this show has ever added to its roster. I love this dude and I fear him at the same time. He's basically like Deadpool but without the sense of humor. And Stain has taken out Tenya's older brother, who used to have Ingenium, which is basically the armor that Tenya has, and the fight that ensues with Stain, Tenya, Todoroki, and Izuku out in the streets not only is spectacular and it does have a lot of emotion to it, but it also gives our characters this first sort of real world experience. They didn't have their teachers with them, they had to go at it for themselves and try their best, and thankfully it does work, but it really starts to show us the real darkness of villains in this world and what our characters will have to fend off against once they get out of UA and become pro heroes themselves. Along with the Stain mini arc, the show also peels back those layers of showing us what the real world is like once again when our heroes get their first internships, and in the case of Izuku Midoriya, he gets aligned with Gran Torino, a mentor of All Might's and a partner of All Might's mentor, and this once again not only shows us kind of what the real world will be like for our heroes when they leave UA and become pros, but also in the practical sense it also continues to show us how a world of heroes would work, with agencies and bureaucracies and all the legalities that would come to it. I really like the relationship that is formed with Izuku and Gran Torino, and the fight that eventually ensues when Stain is out there and Izuku, Todoroki, and Tenya have to fend off for themselves. But while this is going on, we also see a little bit of Gran Torino shining as he starts to fight all the Nomus. And another thing that this relationship brings to the show is a little bit more of the peeling back of the layers of the secrets of One for All, and who previously held One for All, and the secrets that will reveal eventually. Throughout all of this, we still dive a bit deeper into what comes with One for All and the relationship of All Might with Izuku, which, as I've said previously, it's probably my favorite aspect of the show. It's that mentor-mentee, symbolic father, symbolic son kind of relationship that really elevates this show to another level. In general, it does that with the characters because it makes us understand them, and this season goes even deeper into all those elements because they have all this time to let our characters grow. And one last test our heroes have to endure is makeup teams and fight one of the teachers pretending to be a villain, which leads us into still one of my top 5 fights in this entire show, Bakugo and Midoriya teaming up against All Might. Once more, this is an amazing fight in itself, but the subtext underneath it as we explore the dynamic between Midoriya and Bakugo, and we see a little bit more of Bakugo's perspective on his goal and on Midoriya himself. I think this is the point where this relationship blossoms and opens the door to what is going to come. We also get to see how All Might himself looks upon these two youngsters who will hopefully be the future heroes that they aspire to be, and how much both of them in their own individual ways look up to All Might, the greatest hero of all time. What this season also does really well, and I will say does it even slightly better than season 1, is opening the doors to what will come in season 3, because we start to hear about all these legends about All for One and his relationship to All Might and what he wants to do with One for All, and by the end we get our first confrontation between Izuku and Shigaraki, who is building himself up to become the main villain of this series. That is all really I can say without spoiling a single thing that will come in the upcoming seasons and in the manga itself. It immediately creates a personal relationship between our main villain and our main hero, who are both in their own ways rising up their ranks to become the protagonists of this story. I also love that it clearly shows that Izuku Midoriya is not ready for this just yet. He's not ready to be the main hero. He's not ready to take on Shigaraki. He's not ready to face everything that is being put into motion by All for One and the League of Villains, and so it really puts a weight on the legacy that has been bestowed upon him by All Might. So My Hero Academia Season 2 does once more phenomenal job with its characters, with its world, but it adds more layers to it. We get to explore our villains, we get to explore truly what it is that Midoriya inherited and what comes with it, both the good things and the bad. We allow more characters time to shine and we get to know them a little bit more, and we even get to see how characters work with one another. Where are these relationships like? And we get to see them grow while still being fully aware that they are still kids. They are still growing. They might look prepared, they might be much better for their age that the teachers might expect, but they're still kids, and the world outside of UA is much darker than they expect. I love this season. It still feels like it's just building to what will come, but I feel that's a really great element of the show, and once more the characters are fantastic. I love Izuku Midoriya. Once more, he's the personification of what fanboy means. Plus, as I previously mentioned, it never hurts to have an anime tournament, because anime tournaments are just the fucking best. So I'm giving My Hero Academia Season 2 an A. So yeah, both Season 1 and Season 2 get A's, but Season 3 might just be my favorite. Thank you so much for watching. You are the best. Again, don't forget to check out my review of Season 1 if you haven't yet. And let me know who's your favorite character and your favorite moment of the season in the comments below. And while you're down there, if you haven't done so yet, you've watched this far, please click the subscribe button. It does my wonders for the content to get out there, for more people to join the conversation, and it will leave you aware of every time I upload more great content. Thank you so much for watching once more. Stay tuned also this week for my review of the second episode of Shaman King. I hope to see you there, and so until then, love each other and love the movies.